Well, some people play in ball pits, but Stassi and Beau decided to have sex in one. That's right. Stassi and Beau got Hartford a ball pit for her first birthday, and after everyone went to sleep, Stassi and Beau got so horny that they decided to have sex in it. Now that was a Turtle Time exclusive. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I'm having some technical difficulties over here. It was supposed to say what I said, and then it was supposed to say that was a Turtle Time exclusive. Did that come across?
There was like a little muttering before the news clip, but I get it.
So I had to start off with a rocket on Turtle Time and tell you what I just learned from Vanderpump Villa. They were all playing a sex game. They were saying they were like we're working together. Let's all play a sex game to break the ice. And they asked Beau and Stassi, "What's the strangest place you guys have ever had sex with each other?" And they said, right after what I just said, they said Hartford got a big ball pit, and once she went to bed, they were looking at that thing and they thought it'd be the perfect place to have sex, and so they had sex in it.
What do you think about that?
I think it's good. I think mostly good. I think yeah. I mean, probably not. I guess if I was I think good. It fulfilled the requirement of the strangest place that they had sex. I would say that definitely is, and it kind of is lighthearted because it's like something that would happen in like what's a sitcom with a bunch of kids in it, like
Full House. You know how they like fuck on Full House.
Yeah, it's something that would happen on a sitcom where it's like the kids are away, so the mice will play. And does Everybody Loves Raymond? Do they have kids? No,
they do, right? They have to.
I don't know. I think kids are just not fun in sitcoms or something. Malcolm in the Middle, I guess you could imagine it happening in that. Bryan Cranston and Jane
Krakowski.
Anyway, I just thought that was like the huge headline for me
today.
Today.
That's the wrong Jane. It's Kasmeric.
Yeah. I just saw a picture of them all hanging out again. Malcolm is all grown up, and they're going to do one of those famous reboots. They got 2 of the 3 boys coming back. The only one they couldn't swing was Dewey. He's too famous. He's too famous.
I saw Frankie Muniz tweeted the other day that he's in a really dark place.
That's not funny. That's just the juxtaposition of him.
It came out of nowhere on Twitter. He was like, I just have to say, like, I've never felt lower. And I was like, oh no. This
is after they filmed.
What happened?
Maybe Bryan Cranston was a real dickhead on the set of Malcolm in the Middle. I mean, he's probably like, pissed off that he's doing this reboot after he was kind of he played.
He's the one that agreed to do it.
I know, but he played Dalton Trumbo, for God's sakes, and he was in Getting Even with, or not Getting Even with Dad. Who's this guy? Do you remember that? It was James Franco played his son-in-law.
Zoe Deutsch.
I'm just like, he was to the moon. He was shooting up to the moon. And then, now he's back with Frankie Muniz, who famously, they didn't get along very well during the early years of
spreading misinformation.
Famously, him and Frankie Muniz butted heads a lot in the early days of Malcolm in the Middle. But
did I tell you I saw Bryan Cranston in Network on Broadway, and he was famously like, he had the famous role of I'm mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore.
Yeah, I heard he kept flubbing that line.
He was like, fuck!
I'm mad as a hornet and I won't stand for this. Sorry! Oh, fuck! He's... So, man, I had good thoughts about Malcolm coming back, but then you saying that Frankie said, I'm in the worst place I've ever been, that bums me out. That means post a resurgence.
If he said, sorry guys, I'm actually doing better now.
Oh, good. Yeah, I hope so. I do not like when people that I know tweet stuff like that, or a celebrity.
Let's see. He says, let's see. He's like a NASCAR driver or whatever.
I think I peeked in on that a little bit. I wasn't too sure.
He posted a pic with his, he posted a pic with Bryan Cranston and Jane Kasmerick, and they look very happy. And he said, always good to have mom and dad around.
Oh, and that was after I'm in the darkest place of my life?
One day later.
Oh, God. Good. Oh, good. Oh, well, that completely shifts everything for me. Good. He was in a bad place, and
check.
And then he got to be with his TV dad and mom to make everything better. Well, good. I'm glad we wanted to talk about this at the start, and I am so happy now about what I learned about Frankie and Bryan Cranston. But, so we were talking about Vanderpump Villa. We switched over to that. Have you seen any other headlines? Apparently Vanderpump Villa came out today, and all the episodes are available.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why did I think it came out like Sunday?
Everyone can check me and say, Riley, that was really wrong.
Love Hotel comes out Sunday.
Love Hotel comes out Sunday, but I think Vanderpump Villa dropped the full bag on everybody. Mm-hmm. We get all 8 to 10 episodes available to us now. You and I will be combing through that with a fine-toothed comb.
A flea comb.
We will parse that thing like you've never seen before in your life. But yeah, and then Stassi and Lisa are on one of the biggest press runs of the century. Have you seen?
Oh yeah, I saw Stassi was at the top of the Empire State Building, and she kept jumping around, and the railing was only waist high, and I was like, "Can you stop?"
I know. It was, if I was around, I would get so scared for Stassi. I would say, please get away from that thing. Yeah, Lisa was dressed like King Kong, and Stassi was dressed like,
Fyre.
Fyre, yeah. And, those are going to be amazing photos when those, come out. I have to say one thing before we talk about all the other Bravo news we have. I think you're going to appreciate this. Billy McFarland has released the rights to Fyre Festival, and anybody can buy them. So I wanted to see if you wanted to pitch in with our Patreon money, whatever we can accumulate, to put our hat in the proverbial ring to take over Fyre Fest and call it Fyre Festival featuring Amy and Riley from Turtle Time. And then you and I take over for the full 3 days and we curate it however we want. Would you ever be interested in that?
I think we could do almost as good as they did the first time.
I think so too. Here's what I thought for what we could do for the 3 days. One of the days, a live taping of Turtle Time. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we can do that.
Hour and a half to 2 hours. The Saturday night, like sort of like Coachella, is Amy and Riley sing the biggest hit Bravo songs.
Okay.
So that's so that's like a Chic C'est La Vie.
I Am Real.
I'm Real. Healing and Thriving. I thought would be a new one. I would love to take a stab at that. Don't Be Tardy. So first night, live taping. Easy. You and I got that.
Do we have to make the food too?
Yeah, I was thinking Jersey Mike sponsorship. I wrote that down. 3 days of Jersey Mike's. That's easy. You and I can get that brand deal. And it would be so much better than the food they were eating the first time. You saw that Fyre Fest documentary, right?
That little white bread.
It was white bread with cheese and a sprinkle of pepper on it or something. We could get Jersey Mike's all 3 days. And then the last Sunday night, the big one, is one Bravo celebrity guest. And it's going to be a surprise. But I was thinking either Danny Provenzano, Terry Dubrow, Dana Wilkie, or Gene Storm's Shannon Bedore's dad. And we can just put...
I love that guy.
We can just put that there's 4 options. It will be one of those. And then we surprise them on Sunday night. Do you like the idea of that?
Yeah, that sounds good. Maybe with the Jersey Mike sponsorship, we could have like Bethany do like a chicken salad booth or something.
Oh my God. If we could get Bethany, maybe I would actually, I don't know if she would fly out to wherever, because we have to contractually do it where Fyre Fest was last time on that island. But I think that you and I could probably swing with the budget, get a cameo from Bethany and not tell her what it's for, that we'll be premiering it live in front of a huge audience, and just specify and be like, Bethany, we want to know what the perfect recipe for chicken salad is. Will you tell us? And then we blast that thing out to everybody. It's like a live screening of it.
She did give the A-OK to the Jersey Mike's chicken salad. You know,
really?
How she eats a little bite with her eyes closed and goes like, she said it's wet and it's good.
Oh my God! Wow, when she says those two words, wow.
And Wes Wilson also loves the Jersey Mike's chicken salad.
Holy shit! Wow.
That's what I do with my time, is watch people I don't know eat.
Oh no, that is awesome. I mean, no, I will definitely be checking in on both of them to see. That's 2 for 2. It's one of those things where I just I can't even imagine for 1 second that would be good. Jersey
Not a
Mike's.
Fan of chicken salad.
Oh no, I absolutely love chicken salad. I've seen what Jersey does with what Mike does with his sandwiches and
wow, you're
everything.
going back. You said you liked it and everyone was so happy, and I knew you were full of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've just seen when Mike gets his hands on everything else, it turns to pure shit. So what are the odds that that he's gonna do good with chicken salad? But I trust Bethany and Wes. So maybe we could figure out, like you said, if Bethany wanted to come, I would love to see her live. Partaking in a chicken salad competition of trying a blind chicken salad. Has she done that yet? She has.
Probably. She's done every iteration you could possibly imagine of eating various chicken salads, including yesterday she was feeding chicken salad to what's his name from Modern Family that she used to have sex with. What's his name?
Oh my God, let me
Stone
look.
Street.
She was feeding just yesterday. She was feeding Eric Stone Street chicken salad
and caviar.
Oh my God! Just in a video.
Yeah.
They
were in her kitchen, and he was there for some reason.
Which one? Which chicken salad?
That's a good question. She tries so many, I don't remember whose it was.
Okay, well, I'm gonna peek at that too. Man, I don't know what is wrong with me. I gotta check back in on Bethany. I've missed a lot.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a full-time job to watch all her videos.
Of course. Is that person still doing the recaps that she said you are a waste of life and breath and this makes me is absolutely vile that you do this?
Yeah, he does, but she hasn't blocked, but I think he has a burner account where he can still see.
Why was she so upset with that?
She said he needs to get a life and she hates that his whole business is what she does. But then when that girl from White Lotus was upset that they made fun of her on SNL, Bethany said that's the honor of the century and she needs to toughen up Buttercup.
Oh my God. What did SNL, I can't even imagine. What did SNL do to that White Lotus person that made her so upset? I know I sent you the TMZ photo where she was crying, but what did they do?
I didn't watch the sketch. It was like the White POTUS thing, and I think they just made her look insane. Like they goofed on her teeth and stuff.
Oh my God, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so horrible.
Sarah, what's her name? Like Smithereens, what's her name?
Sarah Smithers. Sarah, no, I know exactly. Yeah, yes, of course. Sarah
sent her flowers, and she felt bad.
So she played her.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wow, SNL fucks up once again. Jesus, what has Lorne Michaels wrought?
But Bethany, she has they're like the Vatican to her. Like she's like, you would be so fucking lucky to be mentioned on SNL. When Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds went to SNL, she was like, slay. Of course, you should go to SNL.
It's the tastemakers. It's the tastemakers of the century. She keeps saying that about Family Guy too, because they mention her every other episode. She's like, it's the cultural touchstone of America. If you're mentioned there, you're mentioned everywhere. Well, that's so. Oh God, I'm so glad.
I have to say, I'm just like, I can't look away. I really like seeing what she's up to, and she keeps me abreast.
Oh, for sure. Oh, absolutely. Good. Well, great. I didn't, besides that kind of shit, I didn't have anything else because you and I were ripping through the news just 2 days ago and nothing. Yeah. Oh, congratulations to Giggly Squad. I saw that they got #2 on the New York Times bestseller, and you know what I looked for first.
Yes.
Right next to that thing, because I was like, do I have to say congratulations with a asterisk next to it? But no, there was not one dagger, not even one, next to it. So that means that their publishing company didn't buy a big warehouse full of books and leave them to rot so that they could get top of the charts. No dagger at all. It wasn't like Stassi's book that had 4 daggers, an unprecedented 4 daggers. This had none. So that's a huge congrats.
That's huge. That means they're real. I'm curious, what is the format? Is it also like a guide to being a giggler kind of a thing?
Yeah, I think I'm going to listen to the audiobook for sure because Megan wants to. So I'll report back officially. But I think I saw
we could request that. Are we legit enough? Can't we be like, we talk about Summer House for years? Can we have the book, please?
You would think, but you and we do a lot of groveling and we don't get shit. So
I
don't think
ask
so.
for enough.
Yeah,
I think everyone else is like making requests. We never do shit.
We have a wonderful Villa Rosa VIP that I'll say right now said absolutely Turtle Time could get early access to Sheena's beautiful memoir.
Yeah, we forgot to follow up.
That's why I'm saying this publicly. So we are held to that Villa Rosa VIP who reached out. We want that. Oh my God, we're gonna read the Sheena book before anyone else. That'll be so fun. Okay, anything else on your docket before we switch over to this wonderful episode of Summer House?
Do we want to talk about the Summer House seating chart or do we want to fold it into the conversation and its relevance there?
Let's talk about it because I don't know how we'll organically get to that as we talk about this episode.
That was on Instagram, right? Bravo posted it.
Yeah, and I if I close my eyes now, I know it exactly.
Okay. I was kind of surprised. Were you?
Yeah, I was for a couple reasons. So Andy in the middle, I didn't understand. I didn't understand what the hell was going on there. And then first, when you go down, you see Paige and Amanda are head to head.
Yeah.
And typically that is for people who are on opposite ends of a feud and had the most vibrant, dynamic conflict.
Right.
And I don't think that that's going to happen with Paige and Amanda. So I think it was just kind of a random placement and maybe first chair. I know Paige is going to get a lot of questions.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the first chair represents that in this instance for them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess who would it have been? Like, would it normally be like Kyle?
I would have gone absolutely nuts. I would have been like, who goes nuts and does stuff? Like...
King Kong.
I would have been like King Kong once he got a hold of the Manhattan skyscraper. I would have gone absolutely. I would have been like in the laboratory cooking up something wild. I would have done Jesse and Lexi
for the whole time.
Well, I mean, okay, maybe second.
Yeah, they are a little far away considering they're kind of a big plot point, you know.
I would say the biggest.
Yeah,
I would say
Lindsay's in the closer than Jesse, and I'm like, she's kind of just chilling this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it seems like this is sort of a random assignment, and I was thinking of this, and Summer House is such an ensemble that on franchises like Beverly Hills, it's very apparent when they seat people that it's based off their importance and prominence this season. Summer House is such an ensemble for the most part that I feel like anyone can sit anywhere and they're all going to be a part of the discussion because they all weigh in. It's a share house. It's like a shared environment. So that's why I'm like trying not to read too much into this. But if I was going to make one tweak, I would just honor Jesse and Lexi with maybe second chairs because it's no aspersion to the rest of the cast, but that was the focus of this entire season. We're still talking about this from day one until this current episode now, possibly the most Lexi and Jesse focused. They have been the A storyline of this. And then Paige is also, a lot of stuff is happening with Paige. And also the reason you can imagine Paige's first chair is because she's going to be commenting on everything that happens with Craig.
Yeah.
So anything else? Any other shockers for you as you look at it?
I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised that West is so far away, but it's kind of sad because like Emerald's then just like added on the end, which I'm like, it's almost like Emerald should just come out for like a minute, like a friend of,
Yeah. I think Andy should say like, and we're gonna ask Emerald how many times he had sex, and then Emerald comes out and he goes 7 times, and then Andy goes, "Thank you so much, Emerald. It was good to see you." But I also agree about West, but I think I'm trying not to read too much into this. I just think it makes, besides, Emerald being at the very end, I mean, that makes sense to me, because of what he
Sierra
contributed.
and Carl side by side, which, I mean, we'll talk about it. We'll get into that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it, all the conventions that I would normally think about possibly just don't apply to Summer House. So, and we'll see what happens and if it works. But those are my thoughts.
Maybe they put Amanda, like, she's sort of a good, like, mediator. So maybe she's, like, a good person to, like, run the message down the line, sort of, like, help Andy, like, I don't know. She kind of has, like, her she's on like everybody's side, which is like her problem in this episode, that, you know, she's like, she doesn't really take sides.
Yeah, perfect. Triangulation spot. If you're looking at other people and then looking down that line, I think that that's what it is. I think that it's just hard with such an ensemble cast for them to really make huge, strong decisions about where people should sit on Summer House.
Yeah, totally. Did you also see? I mean, this isn't official, so I don't even know if it's worth saying, but did you see the rumor mill that Erica got bumped to friend of?
Oh my God.
It was like a blind, so, you know.
Oh my God. I'm so worried about Erica because I'm so worried. I think about her almost every other day.
You're like, I put all my money on Blonde.
I absolutely did. I cashed every check on that Blonde documentary that I always talk about. I was worried that she is at the precarious spot that some Bravo celebrities get to, where you're great, you're a utility player, everybody loves you, but unfortunately you've been on so long that your rate does not justify the value that you're bringing, and they go, we got to dock you some points because you're not the center diamond holder, you're not giving us everything, and you make way too much money. Right. It happened to Cynthia. I'm not saying that Erica and Cynthia are comparable in their entertainment value, but I am saying that it's just a spot that some Bravo celebrities get to. You know, it's like an artificial barrier that you can't go past if you're a certain type of Bravo celebrity on a show, and maybe Erica hit that point. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a good decision.
Yeah, I'm curious. I wish Alex Baskin, he was on Nick Viall's podcast today. I listened to part of it. I can't keep up with all these godforsaken podcasts, but he got into a little bit the casting process, and I want him to talk more about the like money pot. You know, like the budget, or like how they decide who's worth what. If they have like, they must just have like a casting budget of like X million dollars, and then they have to fit everybody within that. So then if they're like, all right, well, that means if they just found some new person that's worth a lot, then they're like, well, then maybe Erica's friend of, so that we free up some budget for this new shining person or whatever. I'm like interested about how that sounds like really complicated to work out. You know?
So complicated. Do you think Baskin, now that he's hitting the circuit, would possibly deign us with an appearance on Turtle Time? Could you imagine Alex Baskin right here in this on our little riverside?
I mean, maybe he feels very like all of a sudden in the mix. Like he was like a nameless figure for 10 years, and now I see him talk like every single week.
Me too. Andy Cohen route a little bit, becoming a prominent person. I have my first question. Why did you name your production company 32 Flavors?
Yeah. He also said, what was he saying? Well, they asked him if there's any shows that he's like jealous of, or like that he's like, damn, like I wish like I worked on that or whatever. And he said that like, he was like, from a production standpoint, I think Top Chef is like amazingly made. Oh. And then he said Summer House, he was like, sometimes I'm like, why can't our cast like bring it like they do?
Holy shit.
And I was like, I knew it. It's the best.
Oh my God, their ears are ringing over there in the Hamptons hearing Alex Baskin say that. What a huge credit to them to have him say that. That's amazing. Well, good. Well, speaking of one of the best shows of all time that Alex Baskin is jealous of and wish he had his hands on, let's talk about this wonderful episode where the Jesse and Lexi drama is continuing to the point where I'm going to say my overall thoughts before we get into it. It's ruining their summer. It's ruining their time. It's not fun anymore for either of them. When they were at this party, I was just like, it's too early. Obviously, everyone's telling them, and you guys are both miserable. It's not worth it. So I think that we finally, probably this and maybe next week, this is going to be the end. We know they're not together anymore, most likely. And I just felt like, oh my God, I've seen couples like this in my real life and stuff where like, it's just like, it's not worth it. And they don't know because they love each other hypothetically so much. But as a viewer, I'm just watching this and I'm just like, oh, you guys you're going to be bummed out when you look back on this summer. Like Jesse's losing his friendship over this. He's going to lose relationships with people that he truly values.
They both blew it. Like I blame him more than her. Actually, like we'll talk about, she comes across, I think, very well in this episode.
She does.
Like I was like, she's very clear. Like she, is very reasonable, and he is like, annoying. But it's like, if you guys would have been more like, not that it turned out great for them, but West and Sierra last year, where it was more just like they had like one toe in the water, like they were like sort of like, even if they were just hooking up or like, you know, playfully getting to know each other and starting to date, and just like kept it chill, like it would have been fun and like whatever, but they just like ran all the way into the deep end immediately, and then it immediately imploded.
Yeah, and it was what everybody was warning them about. Like, everyone was vocally just saying, you know, it's not great to start such a strong relationship, like, right at the start of summer, because it can really backfire. And it did at exactly the time when you would think it would, you know, after a month or so. So this episode, you know, it was like, well, it does not every episode of Summer House has to be pure partying fun. Now we saw the repercussions of when there's like a relationship on the line and people get bummed out and sad, and how that can kind of wreak havoc on the dynamic with the other cast members. So another just a great example of just why Summer House is such a amazing concept. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just always such a fulfilling concept. That's what Baskin is saying to himself. He's going, I love this share house concept. Yeah. Okay, so we arrive. Oh, Blurred Tan Lines is what this was
called.
It.
I liked it the first, like when I first heard it, I was like, that's interesting. And then it plays off completely.
Oh, like,
pays off.
I love how it pays off. I was thinking Blurred Lines.
Yeah. I know you want it.
Robin Thicke.
Did he get canceled?
Yeah, of course. I think he was probably so pissed because he was like, you know you want it, you know you need it, Blurred Lines, and it was like, this song is sick. It's like the last song that'll ever be like this. No one likes this, and also he got sued his ass off for ripping off the melody of you know you want it. No, it's like I think it's Marvin Gaye, and they got sued into
Marvin Gaye's famous song that goes Blurred Lines.
Yeah, so it's all around just a full flop for Robin Thicke. But you know, I never had high esteem for him.
You know
at all.
Who won out of that whole scenario is Emrata.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
just even how did I forget her name?
How did I forget about her? How did I forget about her? Oh my God, Imrata cashed in after that thing. Gone Girl, a book. Yeah. Oh my God, she's amazing still. So I guess she likes that Blurred Lines probably came out, right?
Yeah, except I think she said she was like treated creepily on that set.
Oh my God, on the set with Robin.
Yeah, he was like, I know you want it.
Oh my God, whispering the lyrics.
She's like, no.
It's like, we're not even filming the music video right now. The song is not even playing. Please don't say that to me. Allegedly, Robin Thicke. All right, so then this episode starts. Blurred Tan Lines. I was going, oh my God, is that going to pay off? And it absolutely does. Carl rips into the driveway, driving the coolest car I've ever seen in my life. A green, big BMW. I don't think I've ever put my eyes on that thing, but that car is so cool. Did you like it?
Carl Beast.
What's that?
That's what they call him.
Kyle's car. I was saying.
Oh, you said Kyle. I thought you said.
Oh, I'm
Carl.
so sorry. Oh God, I wish. No, I didn't see Carl's car. I think it was Kyle's. Kyle starts ripping in, and he starts doing donuts in front of the house, and I go, oh my God, Kyle's got a cool car.
Have you noticed online people have a real challenge spelling Carl? Like, they always spell it with a K. I think because they conflate Kyle and Carl's names.
No, I haven't seen that. Where is
I'm
that?
Like, okay, like Russian, like spelling, like Carl.
Oh my God! Now that you said it, I'll see K-R all over the place, but I don't think I've ever seen it spelled like that.
Everyone online calls West.
Oh, I know that for sure.
Undeniably.
Okay, West and Jesse are driving their beautiful car, and they are congratulating each other on a huge win for West last weekend, which was that Sierra, as they were leaving, West said, goodbye, Sierra, and Sierra said, goodbye, West. And they said, huge high five there. That's a huge step forward. And then Jesse says something funny. He goes, what if she says hi to you when you arrive? Like, that's the bar. The bar is so low for what Sierra will give West, but it was kind of a sweet moment of them talking about that, I thought.
Yes. And then they call Carl, and we're reminded that Tom Schwartz will be joining this weekend, which was exciting to me. I was like, that's a fun little spice added to the recipe for
it's
us.
like extra. It's just like you said, spice. Like this season's great. You don't need to call in a MVP to spice this thing up. Schwartz is an added beautiful bonus. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and I have to say, I mean, so they when he joins, he's like, finally, I get to enjoy this. I'm not recently divorced. I'm not mired in controversy. I'm not bleeding from my butthole. And I was like, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. No, So I've been checking into Summer House a little bit, so I did just watch that episode. But after a trip to Mexico, unfortunately, Schwartz got something wrong, and he was just bleeding from his ass for 3 days. And so he had to go to the emergency room on like a Sunday night or a Saturday night. So he was really having a tough time. So, when he gets in there, like you just said, he's like, I'm fully able to I'm not suffering from any of these calamities anymore. Yeah. And I didn't even remember the secretly divorced one. On Winter House, he was secretly divorced and he couldn't talk about it.
I guess. I need to like revisit all of it. I'm like so brain dead about, like, I forgot that Andrea was from Winter House. And that like Paige met Craig on Winter House. Like, I need to really brush up because I forget all of it.
Let's watch it all together.
Yeah, we should. Okay, so also Amanda at this point has just announced her swim line, so she's excited about that. That's just what's going on with her. And this we get when everyone starts arriving. This is the first time we see that Jesse tries to give Sierra a hug, and she sort of, ducks out of it, and we know that she's gonna start giving him shit for when he told her to get her hands off at the Hope Lodge.
Yeah, she goes, you only deserve a fist bump. And then she says in her confessional, she goes, I'm going to swerve you. You think you're going to get anything from me after you did that to me? And I don't really understand what Jesse expects here. I don't think he was joking when he was at the Hope Lodge and he said, don't touch me, Sierra. I got in so much trouble for it. He didn't have a joking demeanor. I think we talked about that. He kind of seemed like embarrassed to bring it up, a little awkward, and he said it emphatically, and it didn't have joking energy. So I just don't understand. You know exactly the cause of this. You told her not to touch you, and it seemed serious, and she was embarrassed afterwards.
Yeah.
So she's obviously going to put you far away from her and not let you touch her anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not that confusing to me.
He has like no, he's like a real baby about it. Like he can't handle at all that she's keeping him at arm's length.
It ruins his first half of the day, and then the second half of the day is ruined because both Sierra and Lexi aren't fucking with him anymore. But this really hurts his feelings for the rest of the day. Then we get you were happy about this, right? We find out what the major, huge party theme is going to be this weekend, and I thought this thing was like. What's it called when a thing is absolutely perfect? I thought that this is just like, it's been waiting for them,
masterpiece.
Like this is just a masterpiece that was waiting in the wings. They could have done this anytime, and they decided all together that they're going to have a sleep themed party called Snoozefest. Everything you can imagine when you're having the best sleep of your life.
I loved it.
Me too. Like a big bed, a trampoline that's like a cloud, I think a bunch of little like sleeping sheep, what else, pajamas, that kind of stuff.
I will say, I mean, I think it turned out really great, and it's like amazing that, I mean, it did look like they had some perhaps professional help setting up certain parts of the like structures that they were building, but for the most part it seemed like they really do it themselves. And landfill aside, it does look like they pull it off. It looks good, but I do get stressed out about the amount of shit they buy online, and then the fact that they definitely just throw it all away one day later.
I know, yeah. They should let people take it when they go to the party. They should let people take a piece of the memorabilia, like the trampoline and stuff, on their way out. Yeah, that's an interesting question. What do they do with all that beautiful stuff that they created? And then Sierra says, boys need to leave because we're going to be doing all this stuff, setting up together, kind of a separation so they can talk about different things. And the boys are all so excited. They're like, boys night. And Wes says, Emerald's not here. And then they all say, Schwartz, are you going to be okay sleeping in Emerald's bed? He's had sex so many times in it. Is that going to be okay? And Schwartz says, that's not a problem for me. I don't mind sleeping in a bed that has had that much sex in it. So it's totally fine.
I love also Jesse brings all the boys they go into Emerald's room, and he explains Toegate because Schwartz doesn't know what it is. And he explains, I was laying here, they were laying here. Like, this is how it went down. It was really quick. And Schwartz is like, that sounds like it was just silly fun. Like, whatever. And he's like, yeah, and I got in trouble for it. And he's like, oh no, like she got really mad. And I'm like, Schwartz is the last person on earth you need to ask for his opinion about propriety.
Oh, I know, for sure. Could you imagine if he had told that story to Katie when they were married, that he just got a
like,
friendly...
No, Bubba, like, it was like not a big deal.
I needed the last piece of Toegate. I need to know. I don't need to know much more about it. It was good to see the positioning of actually where he was. But was the person who sucked toe, did she have a horny spirit, or did she have a joking, jocular, silly spirit?
Right.
It really changes it. If he was like, I'm joking, suck my toe, haha, this is so funny, and she's horny, naked, and Emerald was like massaging her head or whatever the hell he does when he's having sex, and she's horny sucking his toe, that's a different experience. She's horny on one end, he's silly on his end.
Yeah. I was thinking it doesn't help that Jesse is seen as a sort of horn dog. Like, if it was someone that we consider more of he's a goofball, but like someone that was less sexually inclined, I think everyone would be like, that's gross and funny and weird. I'm trying to think who would be that person.
Carl could have gotten away with a toe suck, a friendly, right?
Yeah, unless if it was Lindsay on the other end, then he would not have gotten away with that. But
absolutely not. Yeah, no, you're right. Jesse's how much we know Jesse also likes to have sex makes it seem less likely that he couldn't have been in a horny spirit in that environment. But I do want to ask Jesse someday, was that person in a horny spirit when she was sucking your toe? That's the last thing I need to know about it.
Right. We also find out that Paige is joining a day late. She needs some time to herself. Apparently, she's still sort of reeling and wanted to, wake up on her own clock and join the next day.
Yep. Okay, this is fun. Boys' dinner. I don't know where the hell this place was in the Hamptons, but it looked beautiful. Schwartz is so excited. He's happy to be there. He just wants to have fun. He orders a shot. He goes, I would like a personal shot just for myself of tequila. And then Jesse, it's kind of interesting to watch Jesse and West interact with Schwartz because we have so much history as viewers with all of them. We know them better than they know each other at this point. So they're kind of, watching them interact is interesting. And Jesse goes, why the hell are you ordering a shot alone? Let's order one all together, more of a camaraderie shot spirit.
Yes. We get our first instance of Carl talking about Sierra. I think he talks about that they shared a ride to Montauk or whatever the week before. And he says, I think Jesse goes like, did you get a over the pants hand job? Is that what the terminology was?
Over
TPHJ or something?
Yeah. Why did he ask that?
I don't know. He's a little mad dog. But he's like, but, she's gorgeous. So we get that first little inkling, which we'll talk about this storyline. I feel like he's like getting nudged into this.
Well, I have to use some newfound knowledge, which is not fair, but I've been taking one peek at Summer House back in the days, and I honestly think Carl's Sierra crush was actually derailed by certain circumstances. If you watch very subtly, you got to use a magnifying glass, but if you're watching seasons 5 and 6, Carl always sort of did have a crush on Sierra, and then it got a little sidetracked with some developments, the Austin stuff, the Lindsay stuff. Obviously, he couldn't maintain a crush on Sierra while he was dating Lindsay. Why would he ever have done that? And so this is actually a re-burgeoning. That's not a word, but reorienting of his original crush. But I still agree with you that I don't have high expectations for where this is ultimately going to lead. I'm just not sure if Sierra is even close to that place. I think Paige, even on Watch What Happens Live, she gave it the Paige stamp of a full blown no. Like
yeah.
I love them both. They're like they would be perfect physically for each other, but she said I do not want that for them. So that doesn't bode well.
Right. And then Jesse is like explaining the Sierra situation, that she was icy to him. And then he tries to get a classic Bravo sex game going. He goes, let's all say when the last time we had sex. And West is like, that sucks. Like, let's do something else. And he goes, what's the weirdest niche porn category you find yourself gravitating towards? And Jesse says his is massage. And then I love this. I couldn't have loved it more. Carl, you could tell he's a little embarrassed, but he's like, I'll fucking say it. And he goes, mine is that I search for tan lines.
Yeah. He goes, I like a tan line porn. And they give him the full-blown crickets edit, absolute silence, awkward.
Kyle's like, oh, that's niche.
Yeah.
And West is like, is that a joke?
Yeah, Schwartz is so helpful. He goes, it's actually a very common thing. They don't even show Schwartz saying it, but he's trying to give Carl a benefit of the doubt and say that this is very normal. But I will say, I mean, I don't actively watch porn all the time, but I had never heard of what Carl was saying. Have never thought of that. It was the most random thing you could ever imagine Carl saying. And I kind of felt bad that no one else had to say it. Carl was left to say tan lines, and he gets kind of made fun of, by everyone, and no one else had to reveal their niche category that was at least, on camera.
Right. I was trying to imagine it, and I was like, I feel like that's very like 90s coded, like when like high cut like French bikinis were in, and
oh my god,
like really tan was in, and then you could like sort of see the pale under the like thong or whatever. Like I was like, I kind of get it.
Wait, Amy, stop. Stop talking about it.
Also, like when you tanning was really in, and you would do the Playboy bunny tan sticker. Like I was like, I kind of get it.
Me too. And then Jesse goes, let me take a peek. He goes on to Pornhub.com and he goes, let me type this in. Oh God, we're going to get demonetized. He goes to a corn site and he goes, wait, Carl, I actually kind of like this a lot. And Carl goes, it's an aesthetic thing. And then West says, they were kind of making fun. It is a little bit like it's like they're treating Carl like it's a little weird, in the moment, like odd, off base. But then they kind of rally around him, and then Wes clarifies, because he was kind of laughing in the moment. He goes, "It's just such a Carl thing. Like of all the things that it would be, it's just super niche, but still kind of wholesome. Like, and then he says, "You don't know the kind of shit that I'm looking up on porn sites." And it goes bleep. Bleep, and he says like 20 different porn
categories. It wasn't even that crazy, but they, for comedic value, did the whole blur and beep.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you think he was saying like? I know. We're worried about our YouTube.
That's what I'm saying. I honestly think that 3 of the 4 or 5 of them were not things that you would probably want to hear him utter on here.
Well, he said, remember a few weeks ago, he said he has that Brazzers premium, so he really knows what he's talking about.
Totally. I said West is a total porn guy. He was talking about premium Brazzers subscriptions, and then he was talking about his full history into niche categories. And he said he's so far gone. He's gone to the when he goes on these sites, he gets to the end. They go, you can't watch
like
anymore.
Squid.
It's
porn.
It's like, oh my God. It's like no more. It's like you take a break, and he goes, so I don't think I could ever go back to tan lines. What Carl enjoys.
His innocence is lost.
But I felt bad because, like I already said, if Schwartz said his and Kyle said his, Jesse said his. So that was
Jesse
very
said
noble.
Massage. That was like, I feel like as tame as
no one wants to reveal their true ones, and like if Kyle would have said what his was, we would have been aghast. My monocle would have fallen off. If Schwartz probably didn't say his, so I just felt bad. Carl went out on a limb. He said this fun thing that he likes, like you said, French bikinis, 90s aesthetic, and I think
I loved it. I was endeared.
Me too. Okay, next up, back to crafts and doing stuff and getting ready for the night, Lexi is telling everyone that they are exclusive, her and Jesse, but they haven't made the leap to boyfriend and girlfriend yet. And then Amanda says, I don't understand this. She's like, isn't exclusivity, I mean, obviously then aren't you boyfriend and girlfriend? And Lexi says that Jesse will wink at her anytime she'll look over him, he'll wink at her and he'll go, you're basically my girlfriend. It just means the same thing. So she's saying that that's where they're at, basically, without declaring themselves that to the house.
Yeah. And Amanda is saying, like, I think at first she hasn't said it to Lexi yet, but she's saying to, like, the other girls that Jesse keeps bringing up these yellow flags about that he's worried about how she wants him to unfollow girls or act differently or whatever. And she's like, I sort of get both sides, and if I was closer with Lexi, I would obviously, like, tell her everything. Like, if it was Paige, I would tell her every single thing that he said, but she's a little worried about being in the middle. So yeah. Amanda's sort of like in the thick of it more than usual here.
Yeah, and I think that justification makes sense once I thought about it more. It's like she likes Lexi enough to be like, when she made the Paige comparison, I was like, yeah, of course. She would tell Paige within 1 second if it was Craig who confided in her and was secretly talking shit. So I think it made sense that Amanda took on this burden to... Jesse had to know that this is going to be talked about at some point. So if Amanda had to be the torchbearer for this, then I completely understand. The boys come home. There's a little bit of fun when they get home. Kyle accidentally starts blaring the Inception theme song in Amanda's bedroom on their speaker, which is, that's awful. She was asleep. And they immediately, I think they go to bed pretty soon after. West makes some food.
Yeah. I love West is very good about posting BTS on TikTok and stuff. And there's always a video of him making like mac and cheese after hours. I think he does it like every time they come home.
The best BTS I saw was when they were all playing this fun blindfolded game where they were playing with sticks, and then Lindsay had this big protective cover over her thing. It was like one of the most wholesome, sweet things I've ever seen. Also, I noticed this on my second watch. Schwartz doesn't end up sleeping in Emerald's bed. He sleeps on the ground. I think there was too much
sperm.
I was going to say sperm in it. So he doesn't sleep in the bed. He sleeps on the ground. Okay. They wake up in the morning, right? Yes. They wake up. Paige calls Amanda and Sierra and says, "Hey, I'm going to be there in a couple hours." They ask, "How are you feeling?" She seems better. I think she needed the night off, so she's coming back in good spirits. They need to build a trampoline. They've got work to do. And then Jesse comes down, and I actually have to give Lindsay a very funny moment. Jesse comes down. He goes, "Good morning, my beautiful angels." He goes, "How are you?" And Lindsay repeats back, and she goes, "I'm good." And I laughed out loud. It doesn't sound that funny when you just say it out loud, but it was just such a random funny moment from Lindsay. I laughed, so I have to give her credit there.
Yeah, she's feeling lighthearted these days.
Absolutely.
Then we get...
It's so funny. I was just going to say, it's so funny that it was exactly what we said last week. Lindsay had one blip where we were like, I can't defend you. It's indefensible. That was mean. You knew that it was Carl's weekend where he was going to be experiencing grief. She got sidetracked for one day. And then since then, we've been like, I like Lindsay this season. She's been great overall. She just had that one random misstep. And this episode, she continues her run of being, great and fun, I would say.
Totally. And then we get Amanda decides to say what she was saying to everyone else to Lexi. And she's like, just so you know, he's talking about yellow flags and like that he feels like you're asking him to change a lot and all this stuff. And Lexi's like, none of that shit is true. I have so many people reaching out to me about red flags, like the way he's behaving, like the people he's following, the way he's commenting.
Oh, is that what that was?
I think so.
Okay, so she's getting DMs. I was like, who are these people DMing? That'd be like if you and I were DMing Lexi. We didn't even know like who she was yet. And we were like, if you're dating Jesse, you should know he's horrible. It's like, who is ready to like get in the mix like that already and derail something when you don't even know this cast member yet? But that makes more sense if it's all digital interactions. Like,
I should be like, just so you know, he's following that girl that Jax had sex
Paige.
with.
A Paige on the Valley. What's the rationale there? I do want to say, so she does dispute all of that stuff. I think she says, Amanda says, oh, he also said you don't like him gassing people up. And she goes, no, it's not that. I just want him to be like, not like, oh my God, you're the hottest bitch I've ever seen in my life. I'd rather you say something like, damn, you're looking great today. Right. So kind of a very nebulous
blurred line.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that could have been also why they named this that. Yeah, it was kind of like, what's the difference here? Like, right. is it like, about...
I don't think you would like that either.
Yeah, and also I want to plant my yellow flag in this moment because these two specific things that she counters Amanda on are not the two things that she ends up bringing to Jesse. So when we talk about the Lexi-Jesse conversation, she does not bring up specifically those two things that she pushed back on. She says other stuff, mostly the Sierra and the toe sucking thing. So I want to find out in real time, them have a conversation about what she specifically asked, because I felt like she didn't want to say on camera what they've actually said. And it made me start to think, like, why are so many of these Lexi conversations with Jesse where she's telling him things not on camera?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Then we get this fun little detour of Kyle and Schwartz talking about, speaking of sperm, Kyle got a kit in the mail, which I was like, why did you do this at the summer house? Like, why didn't you send it to your apartment during the week?
That's so, that was so funny. It says, don't, I'm reading this, sorry for my notes, ejaculate for 2 to 5 days before putting your sperm in this thing.
Yeah, he's like, I'm loaded up. He said that he had gotten some red flag in his blood work, and I was like, I wonder what it was. I didn't medically nosy. I want to know what the flag was.
Oh my God, me too. Because that is my nightmare. Like him just saying that, I was like, Jesus, what the hell is it?
So he was like, I guess I should check on my spermies. And he's like, over the years, I've stood too close to the microwave. Who knows what damage that has had?
Cut to every clip of him sitting on top of a microwave, spinning around in circles while pizza heats up underneath him.
I know. And then Schwartz, he's like, Kyle's like, Schwartz, you want kids, right? And he's like, oh, definitely. And they show the clip from Vanderpump Rules where they say that he has those mutated little spermies. Mm-hmm. His morphology of good sperms was only 4%, and the rest had deformed heads.
Yeah, the doctor said that she's never seen anything like it.
Because remember, they were like, do you like sit in hot water, drink, do drugs? And he was like, I take a bath multiple times a day.
He goes, those are my 3 favorite things: mushrooms, hot baths, and then drinking. She said that typically sperms swim in like a line together or whatever, but his were kind of doing shapes and lines that she's never seen in her life before when she looked at them.
Yeah. And he said that appointment and stuff was like a year before the divorce, and they weren't actively trying, but it was in their future. And Kyle, which this was kind of a telling question, he goes, did you feel like it was a red flag that you weren't trying? And he's like, maybe, because we had been together 13 years at that point. And Kyle says, he can't believe that they don't have kids by now. Like, he thought Amanda would definitely want them by now. And he said, it's not a matter of if, but when. He's still saying that. But the preview for next week, it sounds like they're like really getting into if that's true.
Do you think that they were so bummed out that they used that beach bags and red flags on that episode earlier in the season, and then they had to use blurred tan lines for this episode? Because this episode had them talking about flags left and right. They even were including flags. You know what I mean? True. They kind of burned it too early.
Yeah.
They should have saved it. All right.
They're like, they both say they would be good dads, which I agree. I think they could be sweet, fun dads.
Oh, of course.
And then Kyle's like, all right, I'm going to go rub one out. And Schwartz goes, have you ever tried tan lines? I was like, all right.
Oh, my God. 10 out of 10 joke. It was topical. It had just been mentioned at the dinner before. Just 10 out of 10. I was so proud of Schwartz for saying that.
Yes. Okay, then we get like a really quick little blip that Jesse tries to visit Lexi in bed, and she's pissed. And he's like, did I do something wrong? And she's like, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I think she's kind of like thinking in real time how pissed off she is, and it seems like she's like, I know I'm upset, and then like it takes her a bit for it to hit her for fully how pissed she is, and that's why they have to have that conversation later. But he knows she's distant, and he comes in kind of like he's like, I need, it's very interesting to see that it's probably true, the difference in what he says to other people versus how he views Lexi. That's going to be a common theme.
Yeah.
But like he really, when he like, he goes all in, like when he needs, like he's very needy for her love.
Like the night before when they go to dinner or come back and he's like, I missed you so much. I'm like, you've been gone for like fucking 2 hours. Like,
yeah. So it was sort of a ruse at first. It was a little bit silly to be like all in and be like, we are already saying, I love you and stuff. But at this point it's like real, like he is talking to her absolutely nonstop. He misses her every minute. They've already met parents and stuff. So he is impacted deeply when she doesn't give him that love in the moment. And that sends him even more upset from Sierra and now to Lexi. He's bummed out. Also, there was a scene a little earlier that we missed where Jesse was like talking to Sierra about how he was going to help out. And Sierra goes, I know you're not going to do shit, so don't even worry about it. And he goes, wow, I can't even finish talking. And you watch his face and he's just so bummed out that Sierra treated him like that. So he's just having a rough day.
He's getting the treatment that everyone else gets and he doesn't like it.
No, yeah, it's affecting him.
Also, speaking of medical curiosity, I just wanted to say if anyone else noticed that Lexi had like 400 bruises on her legs, I was like, what did she get up to? I can relate. I bruise easily, but I was like, it looks like she was like rolling around on the ground, walking on her knees. Like, I was like, are you okay?
Yeah, I think we should find out.
I want to know.
We'll find out what it is.
Okay, then we get, speaking of Jesse being needy, Amanda, Paige, and West are gabbing about that this situation is weird, how Jesse's in trouble. Amanda goes, that's probably my fault. Amanda's like, there's honestly two sides. Like, he's the jealous one, and he's acting like she's being problematic for being jealous of what he's up to, when in fact he's also very jealous, if not more. And Lexi's like, he's actually like down my neck constantly. He calls me all the time. Like, it's frankly too much. And West is like, yeah, when I drove with him, he FaceTimed her and was like, all right, I'll call you in a bit. And he's like, bitch, we'll be at the house in an hour. Like, why would you call her again? Like, Can you please relax?
Yeah. Wes also confirms, he says that Jesse can be a little jealous. So, that's straight from one of his very good friends. So the idea, when I was watching this, it was kind of like a revelation all of a sudden that we were learning, in the moment. It was like, oh, wow. Yeah, he has been painting her like she's absolutely jealous and a little crazy for him. That's how Lexi describes it. Yeah. And he seems to be pretty jealous. We saw the conversation after Wes was holding her shoulders or whatever to stand up. And then he said how she was behaving with Wes was even a little too far with me. And then we've heard from multiple different people that it was very innocent. Like, I don't believe for 1 second that Lexi was actually trying to flirt with Wes. So we already see his blurred tan line in terms of what he can tolerate from a girlfriend. And it does seem like he's jealous. So there's kind of proof there.
Yeah. And I think it's Amanda that says that, like, if we're being honest, Lexi's actually the one that's more hesitant about becoming boyfriend girlfriend than Jesse is, even though he's acting like, oh, like, can you chill? Like, you're putting too much pressure on me. But he's the one that's pursuing her, like, harsh, like, hardcore.
Yeah, and there's a great editing where they show Jesse and he's kind of just alone, looking really sad into the woods as they talk about him that they keep cutting to. Okay, now we're at the Snoozefest, first annual Snoozefest in Summer House history. It looks fucking awesome. Yeah. We say every time, which party would we go to? The Greaser Party, NASCAR, Monsters, Death Party. I want to go. Well, I want to go to all of those, but this one, oh my God!
I've been waiting to see what West's little old timey candlestick costume was for.
It was so cool. It's exactly what Ebenezer Scrooge wears right before he goes to bed the night before Christmas.
We need to like put a like coin in the jar every time we mention Ebenezer Scrooge. Like, it's our most mentioned
I don't know.
Of history.
I think there's a couple more common ones, but no, Ebenezer's definitely in the top 10. But Amanda, Paige, and Sierra come out and they have custom made bed outfits where like an eye mask, sleep mask, and it looks awesome. And they get photos done, and it's like, wow, this is like the perfect embodiment of the bedbugs aesthetic here. You can tell everybody wants to have fun. Lindsay she was going to use this like plastic teddy bear, like this really shitty mask, but then she decided to do just like a teddy bear costume. Kyle is a sloth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there was some comedy with that later. And then Jesse Lazy did like a Hugh Hefner, like, smoking jacket. I was like,
yeah, I said the same thing. I go, lazy, shitty. Gabby killed it. Got to give Gabby credit. She is a full sheep with cotton balls and a sheep head. I was like, that's a great outfit. Nobody else did sheep. So that one was pretty fun. And then this is the start of
What was Schwartz wearing? Was he just wearing pajamas?
No, he was an angel, but I was like sleeping angel?
Right.
Wait, sleeping angel?
Heaven, clouds. I don't know.
It's like it's a little off. Pajamas is well. I mean, I'm still proud of him, but and then Jesse goes, "Fuck." He goes, he's telling everyone, he's like, "I'm having the worst time of my life." He talks to Lindsay. He goes, "She's mad at me for something, but I just don't know what it is." And Lindsay goes, "Why don't you ask her?" And he goes, "Oh, that would be something that I should do." And then he goes up because this is the huge cloud, not a wonderful, beautiful sleep cloud, but a dark cloud over them. He goes, "Lexi, can we, talk?" And she goes, "Yes, we should." And that's She goes, I'm almost I'm on the verge of being absolutely pissed. And Jesse goes, "Dag nabbit, Bobby." And I was like, oh my God, is that the first King of the Hill impression on Summer House? I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I know. He's like basically from the jump, like already annoyed that they have to have this conversation at all.
Yeah.
She's like, "The girls are telling me that you have yellow flags about me. Meanwhile, I have huge fucking red flags about you. You're sucking toes. You act single when I'm gone." And she's like, he's like, "What the hell?" He keeps being like, "I'm being betrayed. Like, people are talking about me. They're supposedly my friends and they're saying all this stuff." And she's like, "You're the one. They're just telling me like what you're saying and doing. Like, you're the one doing what they're talking about. So, blame yourself." And she's like, "Your actions make it look like you don't take us seriously, but then during the week, we're like hardcore seriously dating. And then it like changes."
Yes. I'm trying to analyze this like in a high level way. So like she's hearing for the first time that Jesse has been talking shit. She doesn't specifically say the two allegations that he said, the Instagram stuff, but she knows that he's just laying these yellow flags to sort of poison the well against Lexi in a way, when she knows on his end that he is like raring to go 100 miles an hour and wants to be boyfriend and girlfriend. So I can imagine why for Lexi that's very jarring to hear that. And I don't necessarily understand why Jesse doesn't think, why that information would bum Lexi out, because it is stuff that he's saying, and they're not like a vault for him that he could just say whatever he wants. Like, obviously she's going to get that news. So Jesse's side of this, I'm not too sure, except for him. I guess he's just like, why can't we get over Toegate? And that was a joke, so that shouldn't even be in the conversation. And then with the Sierra flirting, he's like, I'm doing better now. I can't just be a robot. So for him, it's like, why are we talking about stuff from 3 weeks ago when he doesn't realize that it's a big deal for Lexi to be portrayed as this jealous, unhinged girlfriend when he's participating in that just as much, and he might be skewing facts against Lexi, poisoning the well a little bit with other share house people from Lexi's perspective.
He's like being two-faced about it. Like he's like, our relationship's just moving really fast, and she goes, let's slow it down then. Like she's like, why are you acting like I'm pushing you to move fast when like you're the one that's like obsessed with like calling me constantly and moving, like saying I love you after 11 days. She's like, actually it's probably better if we slow down. And he's like, our relationship's just like so fragile. Like he's just like turning it against her in a weird way. Like it seems like he's like it's interesting because historically on Summer House that used to always be a topic of conversation, like how the relationship is during the week versus the weekends. And like that's coming up here where she's like, during the week you're obsessed with me and like saying you're in love and want to be exclusive and boyfriend, girlfriend. And then the weekend comes and you're like, she's like saying I can't do this and I can't do that. And it's like, well, your behavior would indicate that you're actually very gung-ho about this relationship.
He's like, I had to unfollow Jax's girlfriend on Instagram, Paige.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So it's kind of just like Jesse's just like, he feels very defeated and like, why are we talking about this? And oh, this sucks. I expected us to be boyfriend and girlfriend at the end of this thing. And for Lexi, she's just heard new evidence that really upset her because she feels like you're kind of skewing the situation. So it's kind of like, this needs to be remedied now, and Jesse, you need to take into account the new information that she just learned. It's not just toe sucking and whatever else. But I do want to still get to the bottom of, like, I want them to have a conversation of those specific yellow flags. Is it true? Did Lexi say, I get uncomfortable when you say you're the hottest girl in the world, I want to marry you, to just saying, you look great today, sweetheart, what a nice outfit. What was the intention there? Is that true? And then she did clarify one, actually. I want to give Lexi credit. She did say, I said, why the hell are you following all these people after Toegate? Because I was obviously insecure when I found out that you sucked a toe in Emerald's bed, that then you followed 3 or 4 girls after that. That makes that one make more sense. So I'm giving Lexi a full point on that one.
When they showed that Amanda had launched her bikini line, they showed one of his comments that was like, needless to say, I'm excited to see the results, or like to see the fit or something like that.
Don't let Carl see that.
Oh my God. Yeah. So yeah, I'm like I was trying to explain it to Jimmy because he hasn't watched all of this season, and he was like, what's going on with this? And I was like, it's honestly hard for me to explain to you because I think they're both at fault in the sense that they were both a little reckless. I think he's more to blame because he is sort of, I know we hate this word, but like gaslighting her in a sense where he's just like confusing her.
Yeah.
And like she seems a little more clear about what's going on. And if they were both as straightforward as she was, I think they'd be in a better place. But I also feel like she should heed the red flags more and not have jumped in as quickly with him, because then he thinks they're all in.
Yes.
And so it's like they played their cards wrong both ways, but he's being more manipulative and I blame him, but also she should just like get out of it.
Yeah. There were multiple times when they should have like pumped the brakes, or if Jesse found those to be yellow flags, he should have treated the relationship like that, and Lexi should have as well. You saw your flags, but you still are barreling towards this future of being boyfriend and girlfriend. And the real revelation for both of them is what we're going to get to, the talk about the foundation. That's it.
Right.
That's the crux of what is actually going on here. I don't want to step on it. So then we get a little, Carl says, Sierra, can I take you into this garden of string lights for a second? It looked beautiful. And he goes, any guys here making you excited? And she goes, I don't ever go to a party looking for men.
Right.
and he was like, oh, interesting. And then then that's it. I think that's just the start of their conversation. But then in the confessional, that's when he tells us, the viewers, which I knew this was coming. I've been talking about it every week. He goes, I find Sierra, I want to find someone who I'm emotionally vulnerable with. And, I do want to tell Sierra about my feelings, letting us know that we're going to ultimately get to the scene where he says that he has feelings or has a crush. He does go, she's a babe. And I have to ask Carl, when you watch Turtle Time, he needs to find if him and Sierra continue on this path towards dating and marriage. I want you to be more vocal and descriptive of all of the things you like about Sierra, because I've been watching season 5, 6, now this, and he only says gorgeous, babe, the hottest person in the world. And I want to know more about a peek into you. I don't know if he wants to be vulnerable in his confessional, but say other stuff about what you enjoy, not just how attractive Sierra is.
He did say last week that she has an emotional intelligence that he is seeking. And he said he hasn't met anyone like her this summer. Like, she's a hard bar to
to meet. There is. He has said it before, but I'm just saying, like, he defaults to just being like, she's gorgeous, she's a babe, and it's like, it's just
we know.
Yeah, it's just to get like Jesse and all of them to connect with him on a level that he thinks is like masculine, to be like, she's obviously so hot, but it's like, no, you like her because she like you talk and it's deep, and she cries and grieves for you. And
she's a nurse.
Yes, like there's so much more that you love about Sierra that we know is there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was like in her little red shorts, like unitard, doing like cartwheels. I was like, imagine looking like that.
Yeah.
Like, I would be so happy.
There's a scene in season 5 where Sierra comes out for breakfast, and it's the first scene that she's on, and Carl goes, "My God." I swear, right to her. He can't not say how absolutely gorgeous he finds her. So maybe that's why Carl's just like, I have to say it all the time.
Yeah, flabbergasted. So yeah, that's like, we get more next week where he says the words. He's like, "I have a crush on you." And I'm like, how is that conversation going to go? Like, what's she going to say? I feel like she'll be nice to him, but like, what is she going to say?
Yeah, she's very sweet about she's very sweet about him in earlier seasons, but I feel like they've gotten too far past that, and obviously the Lindsay stuff, like that wouldn't go well. That's not going to be something that Sierra
but I think she'll handle it,
of course,
well.
Yeah,
but
I think so too.
It's going to be awkward. I'm scared. We get a little Lindsay Paige check-in, which I felt like Lindsay sort of like lost her producer hat here a little bit. She didn't really know like how to guide this conversation.
I think
agree?
Yeah, I think so too. She kind of checks in with Paige, and it's more like, I want to check in on your storyline.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it was like, can you lead me through what you're going through? And it was a little bit about the anxiety and stuff. But then she was like, what the hell is going on over there? With Jesse
like,
and Lexi.
Let's point this a different direction. And
I think, but what's apparent is that Lindsay knows. In every scene, she is trying to push the story forward, which I value. It's just like she didn't know what to do in this scene of like where we were supposed to go. Where they end up, though, is ultimately what this episode is about, which is what the fuck is going on with Lexi and Jesse. So she gets to the right place. Yeah,
they're like, what the hell is going on with them? And they're like, yikes, right? And she's like, I think Paige says, yikes on bikes. And they see Lexi leaving the bed with Jesse, because they're just like, let's not miss the whole fucking party. So they part ways, and they just call her over. They're like, come over here, we need you to check in with us for this storyline. And she gabs with them and is like, he's just apparently telling everyone there's yellow flags. And get this, last weekend he said that what I did with West was worse than what he did with Sierra, and they were all like, oh my fucking God, that's ridiculous.
Paige was absolutely stunned, because that we don't say this word, the GAS, but lighting. But I mean, to say that, hey, what you did is way worse, when in reality it absolutely wasn't in any way. And what we actually saw, he was drunk, but that is trying to skew her version of reality to try to make her change her behavior or get a moral high ground on her.
And she's like, if I did any of the shit that he does all the time, he would go fucking insane.
Of course.
Which like is true. And they're like, you don't even have foundation for, to stand on to have this much fucking drama already. And Paige is like, if he is telling you that he's had to change so much for you and like complaining about it, then you need to walk away. Yeah.
She goes, it's just, we've talked about this. This is a lot of tension for a month and a half of knowing someone. If it's this bad now, it can only get worse for the most part. So it's good advice. And then we go.
Meanwhile, Dumb and Dumberer, or like the blind leading the blind, really, in the kitchen, West runs in his little sleeper's cap, and he's like, what the hell is going on? Like, did that conversation go poorly? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm just dumbfounded. He's like, the girls are trying to stir shit up. I thought they were my friends. I just wanted to have fun at this party. Now it sucks. He's like, I've been changing my behavior. I've been good. And West is just like, he honestly has nothing to say. He's just like, what the hell?
but he for sure, he's letting Jesse vent, but he comes to the same conclusion that they do on the other end in their conversation. It's just in different language. But Jesse goes, I forget, he's like when we have conversations like this, he goes, are we even that close? I mean, the foundation of our relationship gets shaken. And Wes goes, what's the foundation? And Jesse goes, right. There is none. And Wes goes, yeah, because you met her a month ago, which is something that he's been saying nonstop to Jesse. It's like, That's it. You know, what I was trying to say earlier before the foundation thing, it's like you have nothing to rely on. You have nothing to bring you back to. It's just been bad. So them pointing out from both ends that there's no foundation for this relationship, I mean, I think that will probably be the end of this. You know, I can't imagine it going much further for them, you know, after this. Because they're both getting this advice from their friends that this is just not worth it at this stage to be miserable with each other already.
Yeah, and then for some comedic value, Kyle interrupts their conversation fully dressed as a sloth with the sloth mask and star tape on his nips, and it was fun. Did you also, I don't know if you watched it on Real TV, but I got a Phaedra Cheez-It ad during this episode, and I loved it.
Oh my God. Unfortunately, I watched the beautiful, sweet screener that we got. So I didn't get to see this Phaedra Cheez-It ad, but I looked it up so that I could talk about it. Was it the snapback Cheez-It ad? Oh, I watched it.
Yeah.
She had to rank her top 5 snapbacks while eating Cheez-It's brand new snapback cracker, right?
Yeah, this is not Spawn.
Absolutely not. And she ranked them 5. I forget. I didn't write them down, but she ranks her 5 snapbacks in order of the best to the least snap. And then snaptastic, and then she eats snapbacks Cheez-Its, and it's they looked absolutely delicious. I wanted to jump through the screen when I saw that and start eating Cheez-Its.
It made me excited for her to come back to Atlanta because I was like, she's one of the true goats. Did you watch that video, like TMZ video of Andy the other day?
I did.
And he was like, they were like, was Kenya disinvited from the reunion? Like, what's going on with the show, whatever. And Andy's like, that there's still so much of that season. Phaedra's going to come back. It's amazing.
He goes, you have no idea. It is going to get so good. He goes, just wait. In 5 weeks, Phaedra is coming, and you're going to love it. It's like such a way to just pitch the rest of the season instead of talking about Kenya. But it sounds like, he didn't give a definitive answer on whether or not Kenya was invited to the reunion. I started watching the Kenya Confessional, not to talk about Atlanta, but it's not newsworthy at all.
Okay. Okay. Did you watch What Happens Live?
I did.
With Paige.
I did.
And Casey Wilson. Yeah,
I did. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, there were some good tidbits. I thought Paige did a good job. She says Kyle nailed it, calling Craig a liar.
Yep.
She said, who did she say was correct about? She said Miss Pat called herself a bit of a bitch, and she goes, I think she was spot on. Shots fired.
Oh, yeah. Oh, majorly.
She also said what we said when Andy was like, did you ever intend to get married at BravoCon? And she goes, Andy, she's like, do I look like the kind of person that has convention center in my wedding invite?
Yes. Oh, my God. She nipped that thing in the bud completely. It was good. Anything else I kind of forget?
She talked about Craig a lot. I don't even know if she said his name. She was trying not to, but it is sad that I was thinking about if it weren't for Watch What Happens Live, basically, I feel like their breakup would have gone better, but now they're in this headline war where they just have to say nasty things about each other.
Yeah, I remember a fun moment. They were like, what do you think about Shep saying that your thing is a shitty talk show that completely sucks? And Paige said, bless his heart. And I thought that was really sweet and a fun Paige response. I was sad. Casey Wilson upset me. They were talking about Southern Hospitality, and they were like, what do you think about Will not going to the Southern Hospitality reunion? And she goes, Will is a New York one. And I was like, oh my God, you just called this guy ugly because of some fake, don't get me started on Southern Hospitality, because of some fake fucking cheating rumors that this cast is trotting out because they have nothing else to talk about. He just got called ugly for no reason. But anyway, Paige did perfect. It's fun responses to absolutely every question. She says that she doesn't blame anybody for getting into choosing sides, and she goes, this is all part of it. This is how we get ratings. We're business people, Andy. I love it. I would take all the mean comments in the world to get to where I am. And Andy was stunned. He loved hearing that.
Yeah, she was and she also said she said the breakup was mutual, which I felt like was throwing Craig a bone. That's like the nicer thing to imply, that he wasn't dumped, that like they came to an agreement that they wanted different things. And then he was like, it wasn't mutual. Like, she blindsided me. Yeah. And she said, she was like, I think he wanted the victim, PR campaign or whatever. And I'm like, he should have just like shut the fuck up. Like, it would have just been so much better for him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think we have one more significant event in this timeline, which is, Paige reacting on Summer House. But then I think, we've parsed the shit out of this. I don't think we're going to get many more anecdotes from this one. Not that I don't enjoy it. It's just that there's only so many questions we can ask and get the answer to. So we'll probably get a little flare up at the end of Summer House, and then that'll be the end. I don't know if we'll be talking about Craig and Paige, except to just be nostalgic, for an era.
Totally. But yeah, another solid episode.
Oh yeah.
Also, there's just no more Summer House after show. Apparently, it's been gone the past like 2 or 3 weeks.
I don't even know. Don't get me started on the after shows. There's no rhyme or reason to when they start or when they're on. They'll come in 8 episodes into Southern Charm and be like, we have an after show. Then they're off. I don't know what the hell is going on there.
Do they just want to? They're recording as we speak. They're doing the reunion. Summer House reunion. So I'm like, do they want people to shut up so that they can talk about it on the reunion? But in which case, it's like, why even have it?
Maybe it's almost like crews are like conflict with like crews. It's like when we can get people in and when they're not filming other stuff, and like it's just like an actual just logistical situation where it's just like
it seems like they do probably at least 3 in a day or something because they're wearing the same thing.
Yeah, and it's like,
they never did the second one.
Yeah, or like we couldn't cut enough from the initial time that we had, so it just doesn't make sense for after show. Sorry, we don't have 20 minutes to like talk more about Lexi and Jesse. Wow.
I feel like they treat it like it was it's something that would have been on Twitter or something. That is just like this little flippant like bonus content, but now since it's on Peacock, I think people really expect it as if it's an addendum. I didn't check, how long was the Valley one this week? Was it as long as the last one?
I watched it, and if I had to guess a runtime, 27 minutes.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm gonna cross-check you right here.
Oh my god!
Valley after show.
21 minutes. I take it back. 21.
26.
Wait. 20. Yeah, 26 is what I thought.
Okay.
It was
better
good.
than 37, which was last week.
It was good. The most remarkable thing, which we didn't talk about on our Valley episode, obviously, because we couldn't, is that I found that they really critique Jax's eBay habits. When Jason was driving him to the mental health treatment facility, Jax goes, "You have to do me a favor, Jason." And Jason's like, "What? What can I do for you? Please. Anything. Just ask me." And he goes, "I have mascara that I have to sell on eBay. Can you drop it off at the post office?" And Jason said that he did it. He paid the $4.50 in postage, and he didn't even charge Jax for it. And then they kind of like make light of, we saw the eBay account.
Oh my god, I need to watch that. That sounds very up my alley. I'm an eBay queen. Just
and it's even there's less innocuous stuff and more horrible stuff, and it's pretty much conclusively proven. Everyone admits that Jax does talk about Brittany that way, those horrible words.
I watched like probably almost all of it through clips online, and and Jax tried to say, did we already talk about that? He tried to say the thong was from a fan.
I had that early. I had an early exclusive when I said that 2 days ago, that he said that Tim and Schwartz put thongs on their heads for the entire ride and were peeking through them to just be funny. But I heard that from somewhere else. And then he said the story again, and Schwartz and Jesse are giving him absolutely nothing. Schwartz is like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." He's like, "Don't say that. That just doesn't happen on the cruise. Nobody handed you a thong for you to put in your fanny pack." So it does seem more ludicrous as an explanation for what the hell was going on.
When he's talking about like the body comments and stuff, Schwartz looks so scared. Like he's like, "Let me the fuck out of here. I cannot be part of this. Like, please, no."
Oh yeah. Oh, it's rough being on the couch with Jax as he's having to account for that shit. So it's good. Yeah, we'll we'll try to keep Valley stuff incorporated for our discussions, the after show stuff, even though we're on a different timeline. But
yeah.
Okay, and then same for. Oh, there is no Summer House after show, so we're good there.
Well, yeah, we got off the hook with that. I was trying to squeeze it in this morning, and it didn't exist.
Wow. All right. Well, you and I have to say, Turtle Time report card, news, check, recap of Summer House, check, little banter at the end, check. I would give us a B+ or an A-. What do you say?
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, please, for the love of God, if you liked this episode, I really felt like the Valley episode that we did 2 days ago, I felt like there was a lot of people being very nice and sweet to us. If you enjoyed the Valley coverage or you enjoy Summer House coverage, which are probably the two favorite shows for us to talk about, please, you can get even more Turtle Time in your life by going to our Patreon. If you're a little turtle cutie and you hear this every week, you're probably like, I'll never pay, you'll never get me to pay, but I don't know how I can appeal or make it more appealing, but all I can say is that there are so many hours of fun content. I describe it as fun of us recapping Vanderpump Rules from the very beginning. And if you miss Vanderpump Rules in your life, it's like a sanctuary for Amy and I to talk about all of these moments that we love so much. And we love our Villa Rosa VIPs more than anything in the world.
Yeah. It's $2 less than this coffee was. You get 4 episodes a month.
Could you imagine if you laughed once per episode or even smiled once per episode? That's 4 smiles or laughs a month. Per month. How priceless is a laugh?
Oh my God. Think about what's the math on that for a year?
A year. 4 laughs times 12.
Smiles.
48. And I didn't say definitive laughs. I said laugh or smile. 48 smiles a year for whatever 5 times 12 is. That's a great deal. So I hope that makes it. And then the least you can do, for the love of God, the least you can do is just get on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I love Spotify comments. They're kind of coming up. Villa Rosa VIP is obviously number 1 with a bullet. YouTube comments, such a fun community. Spotify, though, I mean, you're coming up. I like peeking over at Spotify. And give us a review and let people know. Say, I like this podcast with Amy and Riley talking about Bravo shit. I like it. What can I say?
Yeah, tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends, and then that's it. I mean, Etsy, we have an Etsy store with a bunch of shit. I see West merchandise are flying off the shelves. West is back in a good place. Kristen Doty's are always popular if you want to support. Oh, if you're going to BravoCon, you got to get one of these shirts. Make a Bravo Celebrities Day by wearing their face on a shirt.
Yeah, we can attest. We almost got every single one of them signed by the person on it, and they loved it every time.
Frank Catania, if I could bottle his smile and sell it for our Patreon price, he beamed like a cherub when he saw his face on my body, and he signed it and everything. But I mean, you don't have to buy it for BravoCon. Buy our shit anytime.
Dorinda loved hers. Craig loved his. West really loved his.
It makes their day. So make a Bravo Celebrities Day by buying a shirt with their face.
For just $5 a month.
You can cheer up a Bravo celebrity. Wow, that's a nice pitch. All right. Okay, Amy and I have to go. It's been a long day for us. We're going to let you all go, and we will be back. We have a new schedule. Villa Rosa VIPs get an exclusive episode on Monday with some of the best content you've ever heard in your life, and then we'll be back Wednesday and Friday next week. So have a wonderful weekend, please.
Bye-bye.